So I didn't know Rapper the Game is a pro wrestling fan, or at least up on it enough to confidently comment on this online debate here. Y'all know when it comes to hip hop, sports, just whatever competitive type, format we're talking about, ratings, lists, whatever, will always spark so much controversy. For real, man. Y'all remember like when Eminem got, I forget what was that, the source. One of them had the greatest rapper of all time brackets. Eminem won it. It sparked a big controversy a couple years ago. There was some other kind of list. And like, it's wild. A lot of times these lists are just made by whoever. But the point is, they get people chiming in. Some people in their feelings. Some people's just like, this is bullish. Well, check out The Game commented. You seen he says, they're just going to leave out Coco Beware. And you see it says, Booker T ranked as the greatest black wrestler ever by BET. So, excuse me, the list is put out by BET, but at the end of the day, we don't know who got together and put the list together. Are they real pro wrestling fans? Shout out my guy Jay Militant, right? Pro wrestling is its own world, its own subculture, subgenre. You know what I mean? Like, I love wrestling, Comment if you fuck with wrestling or not, but you got to stay up on it. You got to know what you're talking about and what makes a great wrestler. And I want to see the list here. So here we got number 15, Jazz. She was a good wrestler. Shelton Benjamin at 14. Is that too low rating for Shelton? Remember, he came in originally with Team Angle, the greatest tag team in the world. Charlie Haas, his partner. Naomi, Jacqueline. Yo, Jacqueline was a beast. She was in WCW with Kevin Sullivan before she came to WWE. And remember that little stable PMS, Pretty Mean Sisters, and Meat, Pause. Sean Stasiak was who they were valet or managers for. Big E, man, world champion at one point in time. Didn't he hurt his neck real bad? Solid wrestler. And what a great, you talk about stables. That would be an all black stable. What's the name of that tag team with Kofi Kingston? You know what I mean? They got their own cereal and all that. They have had the tag team title many times by the free bird rule. Yeah, man. But the Nation of Domination also would be kind of considered an all-black stable, but there was different incarnations of the stable where it was in the USWA. There were some white wrestlers, and it also, in the WWE version, Owen Hart. And real quick, I'm going to say, what's a damn shame, people get mad at me all the time, right? Being that I'm a big pro wrestling fan and I have these discussions so often with other pro wrestling fans, man, I see they do not have the Pearl River powerhouse, Ahmed Johnson, on the list. This is criminal, man. I know his run was so short, but man, he was supposed to win the strap off Shawn Michaels, possibly. You know what I mean? He won that battle royal on Raw after winning the IC title. He was tag teaming with the Heartbreak Kid. The international incident, they took on Cam Cornette. Ultimate Warrior was in the mix with that. He left. They had to bring in Psycho Sid to replace him. Warrior just wanted to no-show house show events and ish like that. It was a damn shame. But yeah, his run was short, but it was supposed to be epic. But every time they were going to give the man a big push, he got hurt. He was also supposed to have a world title shot versus The Undertaker when he turned heel and joined the Nation of Domination. And many people theorize that everything that happened with The Rock to a degree was originally slated to happen with Ahmed Johnson. But he was creative differences, I guess we'll say. You know what I mean? He couldn't get along. Like, there's plenty of stories out there. That's another reason why Ahmed Johnson is left out of everything. He didn't get along with anybody, from his fellow wrestlers in the locker room to Vinnie Mac, who, let's comment too, everyone. What's the deal with Vinnie Mac? Do you guys believe Vinnie Mac did that foul-ish? Let me know. Where we at? Devon Dudley. Oh, I skipped Devon Dudley. Okay. Great tag team. Remember when they tried to do the whole Reverend thing and split up the Dudleys or the Dudley Boys or Team 3D when they were in Impact via the draft and make him Deacon, or no, it was Deacon Batista and the Reverend Devon or something. I wasn't messing with that, man. Everyone, like, let's join the discussion on all this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, man. We talk everything on this channel, as you see, from pro wrestling to sports to news stuff to whatever. Continuing on, Bianca Belair, Bobby Lashley, man, what a beast Lashley was. Left the company way back in like 08, 09, whatever, for an injury after he had just took on John Cena, who, how about that, man, for all the pro wrestling marks out there? Cena back at it, the heel champ. They finally did like, they should have done initially. They put the strap on him and had him do the heel turn like they did Hogan back in the NWO days. You know what I mean? When the red and yellow Hulkamania vibes weren't hitting like they used to, we had to see a heel turn. Where we at? Bianca Belair, Bobby Lashley. But yeah, he came back and got the title from The Miz just a couple years ago. Ron Simmons, Farooq, man, first ever black pro champion, right, on a major level in WCW. But prior to that, there had been, in the territory days, if I'm not mistaken, there was black champions, right? Tap in, comment, everyone. Junkyard Dog, some may say the biggest, like, star so over ever with black pro wrestlers. Do you believe that to be true or not? Tap in. Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné, Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. I remember way back, man, like, I'm a nostalgia junkie. I always say this. And way back when I was coming up, got back into pro wrestling, that same era that I was just talking about with the Pearl River Powerhouse. The Monday Night Wars were just about to kick off with the formation of the NWO, and it was a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. You know what I mean? Everything that WCW was doing, from going live on Nitro to the Invasion to blurring the lines between reality and kayfabe, which nowadays kayfabe's just broken, and I'm not just such a huge fan of that. But everything that they did, it forced WWE to step their game up. You know what I mean? And it was great. You were flipping back channel to channel, recording one while the other one was on. Like, those were the days, real talk, man, straight up. But Mark Henry signed on with WWE back then. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he had, excuse me, y'all, I think he had to go to USWA or Smoky Mountain to develop and hone his skills a little something. But he came in initially having a feud with Jerry the King Lawler. And, yeah, man, same era. Later on, joined the Nation of Domination. And then more recently, back 2005, 2006, remember when he had that theme from 3-6 Mafia? Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. That shit was fire, man. Beat him up, break his neck, break his neck. 3-6 Mafia is so fire, man. Kofi Kingston, who we just said, who's the other guy again? Xavier Woods. In The Rock and Booker T. So shockingly, Booker T gets the nod over The Rock as the #1 black pro wrestler of all time. But you see, like I said, Rapper the Game is on here. If you look right here, saying they just left out Coco Beware, the original Birdman. Like, really? Did they do that? And someone busting the game's ball says, I think you mean Coco Beware. Who? He was more on the entertainment side of wrestling. So that's kind of what I was getting at initially when I was saying, like, not really a pro wrestling fan like that. You gotta, it's almost like nerded out type conversations. You know what I mean? Because in pro wrestling, some people like the entertainment side more than the actual wrestling. Me personally, I like the entertainment side. I like great storylines. I like to see talents, how they're going to move their way through the ranks. Can they get a title? What kind of stable will they get involved in? Like, where are we going with this thing? You know what I mean? There's a lot of angles to pro wrestling, but the average just tune in type fan isn't up on all that. You know what I'm saying? But the Birdman definitely brought great entertainment vibes and much more to pro wrestling. That's a fact, Jack. Newsflash, the entire thing is for entertainment. Yo, don't even start that ish. For everyone out there too that always wants to say pro wrestling is fake and all that, listen, it's art, it's entertainment, it's choreography, okay? Anyone who just comes out saying this thing is fake, you're out of your motherfucking mind, okay? The physicality, the lifestyle that these individuals have to live to make pro wrestling push on, being on the road all the time, and the physicality behind it, dudes having hip replacements, knee replacements, no health insurance. Nowadays things are a little different, you know what I mean? Because people grinded for years, busting their arse to bring great sports entertainment or whatever you want to call it. But to call it fake is just so offensive, man. And don't ever tell a pro wrestler that in a bar or something, because they'll probably crack your motherfucking head open. You know what I mean? Coco was never a five-time WCW champion. Man, and speaking of Ahmed Johnson, who's not on here, and I was saying he don't get along with nobody. I'm uploading this to my pro wrestling channel. Everyone, do me the solid and subscribe to the channel. Join the discussion. We're talking pro wrestling, old, new, and everything in between. I have another pro wrestling channel that I'll link below. I've been locked out of this thing for like a year, maybe a little over a year. And I had a couple Ahmed Johnson videos that did all right over there that kind of highlighted a bit of the man's career and whatnot. And, but he came into the biz with Harlem Heat, right? Real life brothers. Booker T and Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray's still around. Is he still part of that? What was it? Title Match Network or whatever that is with that Matt Topolsky, whatever ski, Polish gentleman. Ahmed Johnson was cool as fuck with the Harlem Heat. You know what I mean? But more recently, we've seen him lashing out, going in on Booker T and other pro wrestlers. Like, it's just clear to see that he was his own worst enemy. But man, the Harlem Heat, what a great tag team they were. It's so funny though, they called them Harlem Heat, but they're from Texas. Do you guys remember that? When the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, before they won the straps from the Harlem Heat, they were like, they calling themselves Harlem Heat, and there's some hillbillies from Texas or something like that, man. It was funny, man. Coco, Red Rolls, White Ceilings. Book fucking rules. Not even mad. Cap. Rock damn near ranked 0. Disrespected by far. Yeah, and when you account for mic skills and in-ring ability, no brainer. Rock may be slightly better on the mic, but he could never go in the ring like Booker. Now, not to mention how Booker now trains new talent. See, I was unaware of that. I got to get back into pro wrestling. Like, we got AEW doing this thing right now. Of course, WWE, the 3 brands, right? NXT is dope. I seen the other day they had a TNA dude wrestling in NXT. Did he win the strap? I don't know, because I saw someone online saying NXT title has some crazy lineage. But I gotta get like back on point watching all this stuff. But life's just been crazy. But everyone, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this discussion going. Yeah, when you account, oh yeah, but The Rock, the mic skills, the entertainment that this man brought. Great show. If you guys watch that, what's it called? Young Rock. It told the story in such a great way. And speaking of Ahmed Johnson, there is a character in there who was a fictionalized name. And a lot of people say that was Ahmed. But The Rock didn't want to give him no shine. You know what I mean? Because he was just a negative guy like that. Can't be mad. I respect it. The Rock don't even claim his black side. Is that true, y'all? Is that actually true? Someone tap in and let me know. I mean, Rocky Johnson, his father, R.I.P. to him. He was a hell of a talent, man. Where my boy D-Lo at? Yo, D-Lo, the frog splash. We were talking about the whole nation of domination angle. D-Lo went from being just kind of an extra, more or less, you know what I mean, accompanying them to the ring, to being a certified star and talent, winning the Intercontinental, the IC, and Impact. He won the world title, I think, man. Where is our truth? That's another great question. Our truth we saw at this past WrestleMania, man, and here we are on the heels of WrestleMania again, coming up April, right? I gotta watch that thing, man. Cena's got the strap, man. I gotta get back on my wrestling grizzy, man. Real talk. But everyone, again, please subscribe. Let's talk about this all. The greatest black pro wrestlers of all time. Rapper The Game is saying this is ludicrous. Coco Beware ain't on here. Booker T edges out The Rock for the top spot. Like I said, these lists have been so controversial in so many ways, whether it's in hip hop, whether it's in wrestling, whether it's in sports. Like, yo, how you gonna do me like that, dog? You know, many people feel disrespected. But like I said, this list has been put out by BET. We don't know who sat down and did this. If they are for real pro wrestling fans, or it's just some individuals that did a little bit of research and slapped a list together. You know, it's always good to see what you're debating about. And I don't know, I'm gonna try to look more into this and see who compiled this list. If you smell me, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. And it's crazy too, The Rock was just back, a part of this whole bloodline angle. Obviously, some saying The Rock don't claim his black side. As we know, he's black and Samoan, right? The bloodline, you know, from High Chief Maivia on down to the current stars today in that lineage bloodline. And then he was involved in this with Cody Rhodes and Cena turning heel. You know, will he be there at WrestleMania? I hope so. It's very interesting stuff. Where's Cody Raheem Rhodes? That's funny. It's The Rock, and it's not even close. So someone here saying this ain't right. The Rock should be past Booker T. You know what I mean? So there y'all have it. I'm going to close this out here. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you've done so, if you made it this far into the video, please leave me a coffee emoji in the chat. Once again, it's just all about having discussions here on this channel about pro wrestling and all that. So subscribe. Peace and God bless. Do you agree with this list? Do you agree with the game? What are your thoughts about it all? Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. And I'm gone.